Hi everybody and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. Now parked next to me is the all-new Ford Explorer. And if you have your heart set on an Explorer, Ford is happy to sell you a turbocharged powertrain. But when they rolled out this new platform, they also brought out a brand new hybrid powertrain, and that's what we are here today to test. So in this video, we're gonna hook up a trailer and talk about whether or not this hybrid is the best powertrain for towing. Of course, we'll show you all the features, and then we'll talk about how much it costs and if it is worth it. Okay folks, let's start this one off with the walk around, and first we've got to talk about the powertrain. So this is a 3.3 liter naturally aspirated V6 paired with a 1.5 kilowatt hour battery pack and a 44 horsepower electric motor. So combined, it's making 318 horsepower and 322 pound-feet of torque sent through a 10-speed automatic transmission. And like I mentioned, when this Explorer was brand new last year in 2020, this engine was also brand new. So this hybrid is still pretty fresh in this package. Now, our Explorer today is the limited. You can only get the hybrid powertrain on the limited package. So if you go for this hybrid, it's already one of the more upscale models, and it kind of looks like it, right? You get this nice chrome grille, you get a couple little chrome accents, you know, like I said, makes it look a little bit fancier. Now we also get a unique set of wheels, and these are the stock tires. That is a set of Michelin Primacy tires. Now we can walk back, and I think the one thing I want to talk about the styling is this one line that runs along the belt line of this Explorer. It gives it this kind of big, muscular, tough look, and I'm a fan. I think for 2020 they actually made this thing look a lot better, a little more sleek. Around back we do have the tow package, and we're going to be using it today. We also have a 7-pin and a 4-pin connector. They're a little bit buried down here under the bumper, but actually not that bad to get to. And yeah, what do you say we go hook up a trailer? So you get the two views out of the Explorer hybrid here, top view in the rear, plus the zoom in view, which is really handy when you're hitching up. All right, here we are driving in this Explorer hybrid. And first up, I just want to talk about, well, why you'd get a hybrid. And I know you're saying fuel efficiency, of course, but here in this package, that's not exactly the case. So if you go for this Explorer hybrid, you're gonna get a 25 mile per gallon combined rating. But that is actually only 1 mile per gallon combined better than the most efficient Explorer. So it's really not a big jump. Now, if you compare all-wheel drive hybrid to all-wheel drive 3-liter turbo Explorer, yes, it's a 5 mile per gallon difference, but even still, Ford says this engine isn't about max efficiency, it's actually about max power. It's about giving you a package that has that real strong low-end grunt. Now, when they said that, I right away said, well, that sounds like it'd be great for towing, which is why we went over and hit up our friends at Simcoe Trailer Rentals, and they hooked us up with a nice little box trailer. Now, that trailer weighed 2,500 pounds, so we're at half of this Explorer's 5,000 pound tow rating. And finally, Dad, why don't you weigh in now? Tell us how the trailer was pulling.
Well, that box trailer also is fairly tall, very slab-sided, got a little bit of a crosswind today. So that was the first thing. You'd expect it to do a bit of a tail wag, but I can say that it didn't. And that has a lot to do with the fact that this is a fairly long wheelbase. It's actually only 1.8 inches shorter than a Tahoe
119
wheelbase. And this is the heaviest Explorer out there. So it handled the load really well. And the power statement that Ford has put out, yeah, I got that, because with that 2,500 pounds on there, from a dead stop, if you kicked it, it took off like a scared cat. So if that's what you want, great. But to Steve's point, these days when we hear hybrid, we always think fuel economy, fuel economy. So it's kind of a different take on what a hybrid can do. In this case, adding to the power.
The Explorer you're looking at in this video is all-wheel drive. Now here in Canada, every single one of these units sold comes with all-wheel drive as standard. That's not the same story in the States, but north of the border, we all deal with snow, so all-wheel drive is nice. That actually also means that getting the hybrid and pairing it with the all-wheel drive, you're gonna get the power you need to run this system. Once you add all-wheel drive, you're adding more drag, so sometimes on a smaller engine, you know, it just feels that much heavier in the vehicle getting off the line. With this 44 horsepower electric motor just booting you off the line, yeah, you don't feel any of that kind of downside from the all-wheel drive. Now when it comes time to control it, well, you don't have, you know, 4 high, 4 low, any of that stuff. What you have are drive modes. So Ford gives you a whole number of different driving modes that are going to tailor this thing to each specific situation. They do give you, you know, mud and rock mode, more off-road modes. I don't see the Explorer as an off-roader at all. Less than 8 inches of ground clearance here.
Yeah, not with these tires.
No, especially not, right? So Ford kind of gives you the sense it could be an off-roader, but it's kind of not. But then maybe the most important one in there is a proper tow haul mode. So that's going to set up your transmission and your shift points to make sure you can pull trailers. Although the one disappointing feature that's not here is an integrated trailer brake controller. And you can't get one even if you want one, which I know at 5,000 pounds, it's not a ton of weight, but anything over 2,500 here in Ontario, legally, you have to have trailer brakes. It would be nice to see them put a brake controller on this thing. So Dad mentioned before that, yeah, the Explorer has a 119-inch wheelbase, which is just a little bit shorter than the new Tahoe. It's actually a longer wheelbase than the old Tahoe. And I compare it to the Tahoe because we get the sense of the Chevy Tahoe as being this big, massive, full-size SUV, but the Explorer is quite big as well. And the other reason why you'd really lean towards the Explorer, probably anyways, is a third row. This is a 7-seater, but that third row...
There's no way it's 7.
It's 7 on paper, okay?
Okay.
And I can show you what it looks like back there right now. We can take a look at the rear seats now, and this is 39 inches of leg room, and these rear seats actually do slide forward and back quite a ways. Now, one of the features I really like is actually these little steps right here that Ford puts in to help you get into the back. So once you flip this forward, put your headrest down, this seat pushes forward, then you actually get these little steps up into the third row. Now the third row is just over 30 inches of legroom, so it is pretty tight back there. More reserved for children or people you don't like than full-size adults. So Dad, there's another weird thing here. Did you notice the sound that comes out of the Explorer when you put it in reverse?
Yeah, when I was filming and you were backing up, I was like, I hear music. What the heck is that music?
So the government has actually mandated that. They basically say that if you have a hybrid or any vehicle capable of running on all electric power, you have to have some kind of noise that plays when the vehicle is at slow speeds for pedestrian safety, right? The idea is if you can roll silently, you want to let people know that you're moving. However, the weird thing is that automakers have chosen these weird space-age noises. The Toyota RAV4 hybrid has a sound very similar to this Explorer. I think we feel the same way. Why not just put a beeper on there?
Yeah, it's like right out of the X-Files.
Yeah, I don't get why they landed on those noises.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like they figured it's so weird that people are just going to stop in their tracks and go, what is that?
That's possible.
Whereas, you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with a straight-up construction truck backup beeper.
Yeah.
It'll get your attention.
That's true, too. It's definitely strange.
So one of the things I can say, particularly with a hybrid, is all the information that this truck records and then throws back at you. Center console, center stack, there's always something going on, and it's always telling you where your power is coming from, and it also records all your usages. So to that point, this morning, driving up to Steve's place, I did about 140 kilometers, and my Fuel consumption, according to the readout on the Explorer, was 10.4 liters per 100. Now, the other number that this hybrid gives you is how many kilometers you actually drove on all electric. So of that 140 kilometers that I drove, 7 kilometers was on all electric. All the more reason why we say that it seems to be more about a power thing than it is about a driving in electric and saving fuel, because 10.4, that's more than what Ford suggests that you'll get, and 7 kilometers out of 140, that's not a lot.
Yeah. Now we arrive at the big question, what does it cost? Well, the Explorer you're looking at here today with some options on it is about $56,000 Canadian. Now, here in Canada, to get the hybrid, you have to get the limited trim. And the base engine in the limited trim is a 2.3 liter turbo 4-cylinder. So going from that engine up to this hybrid powertrain is a $3,000 difference. So then you have to ask, is it worth it? Well, if you're asking me, I say it is, and that's totally from the perspective of towing trailers. If you're regularly towing with this Explorer, that little 2.3 liter is probably going to feel overmatched. You're going to be digging into the boost a lot, which means you're going to be sucking up fuel. And then more than that, just that awesome low-end torque you get out of this hybrid, I think just makes you that much more confident when you're towing. So in my books, it's worth it. How are you feeling?
I don't know, I look at it a little bit differently, which is that, hey, and right off the hop, yes, you really have to judge how much you're going to tow, okay? You're going to tow 2-3 times a year, forget it. This is more complex, you're dealing with a battery, and $3,000 is $3,000. So, on the other hand, if you're doing it every single weekend, fine. Then I'd buy into it. So really know your needs before you kick in the cash.
And one thing, I'll make a general observation about EcoBoost, but it's something we both know. When you have a turbo engine and you're working it hard, you're going to suck up fuel because you're using the boost constantly. So what we have found is EcoBoost is eco or boost, not both. Once again, which means if you're towing, you're going to be thirsty. Yeah, this, in my books, is the package for towing trailers. Well, folks, that is it for this one. I think the verdict on this Explorer hybrid has to be that Ford really focused on delivering power over efficiency. So if you really want to save at the pump, it's not going to be a huge boost. But if you want that low-end grunt, which is excellent for towing trailers, this hybrid will deliver it, and it's the reason why I will say if you really want to tow, you should probably buy an Explorer hybrid. So everybody, like I said, that's it for this one. Please now go below into the comments, let us know what you think of this Explorer and the whole channel. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that join button to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we are testing next. See you.